Neon Genesis Evangelion. Probably one of the most impactful anime franchises to have pretty much ever graced the community with its presence. For some diehard fans, you might even call it closer to a religion than an anime show. Jesus, who is that? We got our boy Shinji. That's right, bozos. Today's video is going to be all about how far I think my man Shinji would get in the world of Dragon Ball. So let's start this video off with an extremely abridged summary of Evangelion, shall we? Dad neglects boy. Boy becomes sad. Dad needs boy to pilot massive robot suit to fight giant monsters, but still does not really give a damn about boy. Boy is still sad. Boy meet girl. Boy meet other girl. Boy masturbates to and nuts on comatose girl. Boy still sad. Boy fight cosmic horror. And that's pretty much it for Evangelion. Man, I must have pissed off some Evangelion fans just immensely just now, but oh well, what can you do? So before we get into the good part of the video where I go over the abilities of Shinji, let's just get the incredibly obvious thing out of the way. Shinji ain't fighting anybody by himself. Let's just analyze the absolute specimen that is Shinji for a hot minute, shall we? On your screen right now, you can see our test subject of the day. For starters, Shinji is 14 years old. His literal brain rot toddler brain has not even fully developed itself. Pair that up with his crippling anxiety and self-deprecating personality and you have a recipe for disaster right there. And then there is the fact that this child is severely malnourished, like his biggest enemy is probably a sudden gust of wind. At this point I would just make this man a plate of food myself out of pity. I do make a mean good lasagna after all. And if you would please direct your attention to the subject's arms, he has quite literally like a negative muscle growth. Like he's got the same build as Kaba from Dragon Ball Super, except he's not a Saiyan with pretty much just hack abilities that just bypass muscle mass apparently. Call me crazy, but I don't think Shinji could even beat Farmer with a shotgun after a 40-year time skip where he is wheelchair bound with raging arthritis and dementia. But thank fucking god, Shinji won't be doing any of the fighting himself. He has Evangelion Unit 01 for that. Evangelion Unit 01 actually has surprisingly little in terms of abilities. They do have huge sized weapons like guns, knives, rocket launchers, etc. for him, but those will realistically only get him so far. Because you do have to keep in mind, it's Dragon Ball we're talking about. Even a skyscraper sized rocket launcher won't do jack shit. Just being realistic, guys, I'm sorry. But in terms of actual special abilities it has at its disposal, we have the enhanced strength, speed, durability, and agility in combination with this large size. It's pretty basic, but it's still considered as an actual ability in my opinion, because something this big that is still very fast is definitely classifiable as... Is that even a word? Maybe I just said a word that doesn't exist, but you get what I mean. But it can definitely be classified as a superpower or a special ability if you ask me. Unit 01 also has a slow type of healing where it can regrow lost body parts over time. And probably the most special ability you can call a special ability at least it has is the ability to deploy an absolute terror field. For context, an AT field, which is the abbreviated term of absolute terror field, is a special type of boundary that can be created by angels and Evangelion units, and angels being the monsters that they fight in the franchise. It can also only be cancelled out by another AT field in the Evangelion universe. And that is pretty much it in terms of abilities. Like I said, not an awful lot to work with there. Unit 01 does have two alternate forms that appear during the series. There is its Berserk form, which awakens when Shinji's dumbass just loses control of the mech. The mech itself, or I shouldn't really call it a mech, it's kind of different, but for all intents and purposes, the mech itself takes over and, well, goes berserk. It is notable that in this state, because it's not really a form, but it's more like a state of sorts, but in the states, both its offensive and healing capabilities also increase. I won't go into the lore of how Unit 1 was created, because there is a pretty interesting backstory behind it, but if you are curious about what that is, be sure to just check out Evangelion for yourself. I don't want to spoil too much in these types of videos of mine, because it's a video meant to do a really basic power scaling based on my opinions, and I don't want to make it a review of sorts where I just go through the entire franchise. I do want you guys to actually check it out for yourself. But lastly, there is Unit 1's Eva Pseudo Evolution. This form is described as being a godlike being within the confines of the world of Evangelion itself. The only real known power-up to my knowledge, it gets in this form is the ability to deploy stronger AT fields and combine that with the ability to convert said fields into a laser-like attack. He can basically do a Galagun. Envision it like that. But that does bring us to the funnest part of the video. How far do I think Shinji will get in Dragon Ball? And I'ma be brutally honest here, I don't think he gets far at all. So why do I think this godlike being would not get very far? First of all, what defines a godlike being? We know almost nothing about its abilities. It has not shown any type of godlike ability which I would consider especially powerful compared to Dragon Ball, that is. And even if it is a god, it is only a god in the context of Neon Genesis Evangelion. In the world of Dragon Ball, he is nowhere near what could be considered godlike, because we do have gods in Dragon Ball and they would just absolutely shit on this guy completely. The biggest destructive feats Unit 1 has performed for us are city leveling attacks at most. We have seen it cover the planet with its aura, but then again, what does that even do? Does it weaken others? Does it boost itself? Does it just block out the sun because Shinji is a malnourished NEET? Who knows at this point? Now, I will say that I might be underselling Unit 1 here quite a bit, maybe. Like, I have seen Evangelion, but I'm by no means like an expert in the deep lore of the series. From what I know, it is capable of competing with city level fighters, and its size and durability do give it somewhat of an edge. At the very least, I would say he gets to about maybe King Piccolo-ish, and I personally would estimate his absolute maximum ceiling at Raditz. And just so you know, this is me including the possibility that his pretty ambiguous god form has some type of hidden power he can use, like some type of special ability he might be able to use, etc. But from what I have personally seen, there is no real way this guy can survive against a planetary fighter at the level of Raditz. There is one interesting defensive mechanic that could be taken out of context in the form of his AT field. According to the lore of Evangelion itself, only another AT field can destroy an AT field. But even if you would believe that this AT field is completely impenetrable by any other means, once you get to the characters that can blow up the planet from underneath his feet, he loses even if he has the ultimate shield. Like, people tend to undersell the ability of just blowing up a planet because, okay, cool, you have a technique that just blocks every attack. Well, cool, can you breathe in space? Oh, you can't? Guess you're dead. It really is that simple, unless they can like cancel the attack out or something. But Shinji simply won't survive without a planet to stand on. And for this exact reason, I will play Shinji at the beginning of the Saiyan saga. Truth be told, I don't think he would even make it this far, but this is me giving him the benefit of the doubt on the whole like godlike being thing. If you think Shinji ranks way lower, I will probably agree with you. And if you think Shinji makes it to guys like Frieza, I think you should go with the nice man into the van and go to the funny place, because you're just wrong. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. But with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. Like I say every single goddamn video, it really means a lot to me. Being able to just do this aside from my normal job and just have a fun community to interact with does really make my day. If you liked today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss another video ever again. Work hard, study well and eat and sleep plenty, and I will see you all again in the next video. Peace out.